A lot of people think saving money means giving up everything they enjoy. They picture a life with no fun, no comfort, and no freedom. That is one of the biggest reasons people avoid saving in the first place. They do not want to feel trapped by their own budget. But saving money does not have to feel miserable. You do not need to live like a monk. You do not need to stop enjoying life. And you definitely do not need to punish yourself every time you spend money. The real goal is to save in a way that still feels normal, realistic, and sustainable. In this video, we are going to talk about how to save money without feeling miserable, how to make saving easier, and how to build a system that actually works in real life. Let's get into it. 1. Stop thinking in extremes. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that saving money means going from one extreme to another. They either spend too much and save nothing, or they suddenly try to cut out everything they enjoy. That kind of all-or-nothing mindset usually fails. If your budget feels too strict, you will not stick with it for long. The problem is not that you are bad with money. The problem is that the plan is unrealistic. Saving money works best when it is balanced. You can cut waste without cutting joy. You can spend less without making your life feel empty. You can build better habits without trying to become a different person overnight. The first step is to stop aiming for perfection. Aim for progress. 2. Keep the things that matter most. Saving money does not mean removing every little pleasure from your life. It means being honest about what actually matters to you. Maybe you do not care about expensive clothes, but you love going out to eat once a week. Maybe you do not care about fancy gadgets, but you enjoy your morning coffee. Maybe you do not care about brand names, but you value small experiences with friends. That is okay. A sustainable budget protects the things that matter most while reducing the things that do not. When you cut blindly, you feel deprived. When you cut with purpose, you feel in control. The key is to ask yourself what brings real value and what is just habit, impulse, or boredom. Spending. Keep what matters, cut what does not. 3. Make saving automatic. One of the easiest ways to save money without feeling miserable is to remove decision-making from the process. If you wait until the end of the month to save, you will probably spend the money first. If you rely on willpower alone, it will feel like a constant battle. A better method is automation. Set up an automatic transfer to your savings account every time you get paid. Even if the amount is small, it creates momentum. You are not asking yourself every month whether you should save. The system does it for you. When saving becomes automatic, it feels less like a sacrifice and more like a routine. That is the kind of system people can actually keep. 4. Use a fun money category. Many people fail at saving because their budget gives them no room to enjoy life. They try to control every dollar. They cut everything. Then one day, they snap and spend too much because they feel restricted. That is why a good budget should include guilt-free spending. You need a small amount of money that is specifically for fun, hobbies, snacks, coffee, or whatever small things make your life better. When you know that this money is allowed, you stop feeling like every purchase is a mistake. This is important because a budget that makes you miserable is not a budget you will follow. A little flexibility makes the whole system stronger. 5. Focus on cutting waste, not joy. Saving money becomes painful when you try to cut things that actually make your life better. Instead of removing joy, focus on removing waste. Waste looks different for everyone. For one person, it might be unused subscriptions. For another, it might be food delivery. For someone else, it might be random online purchases or buying duplicates of things they already own. These are the expenses that quietly hurt your finances without making your life meaningfully better. The trick is to identify the spending that gives you very little value and reduce that first. That way, you are not making your life worse. You are simply removing the things that were dragging your budget down. 6. Make small changes instead of huge sacrifices. A lot of people try to save money by making giant changes all at once. They cut every subscription, stop eating out completely, and try to follow a perfect budget immediately. That usually works for a few days, then becomes exhausting. A better strategy is to make small changes that are easy to repeat. Start with one habit, Maybe you cook at home one more time a week. Maybe you cancel one subscription you do not use. Maybe you decide to wait 24 hours before buying non-essential items. These small changes do not feel dramatic, but they add up over time. When saving money feels too hard, it is usually because the changes are too big. Small changes are easier to keep, and consistency matters more than intensity. 7. Spend with intention. The goal is not to stop spending. The goal is to spend with intention. When you make a purchase on purpose, it feels very different from spending randomly. You feel more in control. You enjoy the purchase more, and you regret it less. Before you buy something, ask a few simple questions. Do I actually need this? Will I still care about this next week? Is this purchase helping my life, or just giving me a quick emotional hit? These questions slow you down just enough to make better choices. Intentional spending is one of the best money habits you can build, because it creates space between impulse and action. That space helps you protect your money without feeling restricted. 8. Accept that savings is not all or nothing. A lot of people think if they cannot save a large amount, there is no point in starting. That mindset is dangerous because it keeps people stuck. Saving a little is always better than saving nothing. You do not need a huge bank account to begin. You just need a habit. Even if you only save a small amount each week, you are training yourself to act differently. You are teaching your brain that money is not only for spending, it can also be protected. That shift matters more than people realize. The emotional benefit of saving is just as important as the financial one. It helps you feel more secure, more stable, and more in control. 9. Build a life you do not want to escape from. Sometimes people overspend because their regular life feels too stressful, too strict, or too empty. They spend to create relief. They buy things to feel alive. That means saving will always feel like punishment unless your life already has some balance in it. That is why it helps to build a life that does not constantly make you want to escape. Make room for rest. Make room for small pleasures. Make room for hobbies, connection, and things that make your days feel better. When your life already has value, you are less likely to use money as emotional relief. This is one of the most overlooked parts of saving money. It is not just about numbers. It is about creating a lifestyle that feels good enough to maintain. 10. Think long-term, not daily perfection. Saving money becomes miserable when you judge yourself by every single decision. One bad purchase feels like failure. One unnecessary expense feels like proof that you are doing everything wrong. That kind of thinking makes the process stressful. But money is not built in one day. What matters most is the long-term direction. Are you spending more intentionally than before? Are you saving more often? Are you wasting less? Are you building better habits over time? That is what progress looks like. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving in the right direction. When you think long-term, saving stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like a skill. Conclusion: you can save money without feeling miserable when you stop treating saving like a punishment and start treating it like a system. You do not need to remove every joy from your life. You do not need to become extreme. You do not need to live in constant restriction. You just need a better balance. Cut the waste. Keep the things that matter. Automate your savings. Give yourself some breathing room. Spend with intention. And focus on progress instead of perfection. That is how saving money becomes something you can actually stick with. If saving money has felt hard in the past, the problem may not be that you need more discipline. The problem may be that your system is too painful to maintain. Make it simpler, like more realistic. Make it sustainable. That is how you save money without feeling miserable.